Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to make what I think is going to be a fun little Suncatcher slash mobile. We're going to use a lot of the pieces out of Thunderhorse Descendant's Inspiration Bundle spiral bubble knitting. Most of those pieces are going to be from the India glass because there was a lot of them, and I wanted to put them to a fun use. And the other thing we're going to be using is the sand dollars and the blue turtle and starfish. And then to add even more to it, I've added some pieces from my FOC project. Well, I was going to show you, but they're all little tiny pieces of shell, so they're going to go in there as well. So let's turn down and I'll show you stuff. So we have this wonderful pile of goodies here. All the India glass beads are from well, that's not quite true. I did add a few more from out of my stash of my India glass because I have had some before. So just to supplement it, I added a few more beads to make sure we'd have plenty. So all the India glass. There's a lot of it, but then that's the main part of what we're going to do. And then also from out of the bundle, as well as all the India glass, is these turtles and starfish. Those will be in the strands. This is going to be 5 strands. One of these will be in each, though the last one is going to be our Suncatcher. We're going to put this beautiful Egyptian crystal at the bottom. Also out of the kit are these sand dollars. These are going to be the bottom of the 4 that do not have the crystal on the bottom. And that is also out of the kit. So all these things are out of the kit up here. And then I got 4 Egyptian crystals out, well, I guess I got 5 out of my stash. I'm going to put one of these in each one of my bead strands. One with the crystal and one with each of these. And then these are out of my stash as well. These are connectors, and I'm going to use these connectors to connect our mobile parts together. Then I have some spacers, some flat triangular spacers here, and some ball spacers out of my stash. Now all these wonderful little shell pieces, these are from my FOC bag. So I'm going to sort of combine my FOC and my Inspiration Bundle. Now each one of these shells is going to have one of these ball spacers between it, and we're probably going to put like a stack of 5 or 6 on each of the strands, since we have quite a few in our shell, and I think that will be fun with our sand dollars and our little. So the first thing we want to do to get started is we're going to string it on soft like Stark Lapis, by the way. We have to make our bars for our pieces to hang on. This one has a sharp edge, so we're going to cut that off. Didn't cut very well. Okay. Now our 2 pieces, we can be as long as we want, but one of them has to be shorter than the other. That is a definite requirement, because when we put what we're going to do is find the middle, make a bend in it. We're going to hook this up here. And then our second one is going to hang down below from this loop right here. and it will probably go sideways, and that's fine. We're like I say, this is a mobile slash I think just a little bit longer for the, because we want to turn our loops and make the, so we'll just, I have not measured how much I'm using. I'm just cutting a couple of pieces off of this 16 gauge wire. And then we will want one that is slightly smaller than that one. By about, oh, at least an inch, maybe 2 inches. So we'll just, about right here looks good. So we'll cut it right here. Okay. So now that we've decided on our length of wire and got them cut, we're going to start with the bigger one here, measure it. And it is 10 inches. So we want to find the middle, which would be 5, of course. And we're going to grasp it with our pliers at the 5 mark. And then we're going to bend it over. Like so. So this is to make a wrapped loop up at the top. So we will just simply take our bell making pliers. We're going to use the second size just to give us some room. Go up and over and around just like you're making a wrapped loop. Bring it over. And now you've got 2 sides. This side, of course, is longer now. It's about 5, whereas this one's going to be about 4.5. So rather than wrapping with the shorter one, we're going to take hold of our ring and we're going to wrap a couple loops with the longer one. So we'll just wrap it around once, twice. And you'll see your loop is all wonked out. That's fine. You can take your pliers and straighten that up. Now you'll want to measure your arms here and see how they measure out. Let's get this a little more straight here. There we go. Now we'll measure our arms. This is like 4 1/4, and this is a little over 4 1/4. So we can either A, cut that extra off, or maybe wrap it a little bit more. Though I think we'd take up more than 1/4 inch if we wrap. So but I think I am going to wrap it a little. Take hold of our loop again, pull this over here. Now we're going to have this one over here and this one over here, and we'll see what they are now. That's now 4 1/4, and this one is now 4 1/4. So now they're even. So now we just got to get this loop a little bit straight up here because it's still really wonky, sort of. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take these bars and bring them this way with a slight bow. Now I've got a big bow in it right now, but that's all right because I'm going to lift them up so that they're more, oh, that one's crooked to the other one. We don't want that. Let's get that pushed up into there. Okay. Now we'll get them pretty well straight, but with a slight bow. We don't want a big, huge bow because the one below it's going to excuse me, hang in here also. Again, we want to straighten our loop up so it's straight to our bars. So there we go. That's much better. So now what we need to do is the other one, and then we also need to put our little pieces on here, like so. So let's get the other one done, and then we'll put our pieces on. So this one is 8 inches. So we'll go at 4, bend it in half, just like we did the other one. And we're going to just do exactly the same thing on this one as we did the other one. So we'll get our bell making pliers out again, put it in here. At this point, they both should be the same length, so it doesn't matter which way you bend and go over the top. You're going to make a smaller side when you do that. So up and over and around, drop it down, bring it around just like you would normally. But now, instead of going to do this bar as our one we're going to fold around, we're going to use, I mean, this bar is the fold around. This bar is going to become the fold around. And I think I may get my second pair of pliers out for this. I might not bend it so much that way. So we'll go like this, just like we would normally. And we'll take this one and wrap it. Oh, I am bending that wire, and I'm going to have to straighten that up something fierce. I don't think I did any better doing it with that, because now we've got this wire all bent up. So hands might be the best way to do this one. And I'm going to have to straighten this bar out as much as I possibly can. So now we need to, of course, straighten our loop up so it's straight to the other two bars here. And we'll squish this back down so it stays in place. Now we want to take and measure how far off we are with these. So this one is 3 1/4, and this one is about 3 1/4. So we're good. I just need to get this loop straightened. So we'll bring that up. Squish this down better. It's surprising that when I did this with the pliers, it seems to be up higher than when I did it by hand. But let's just get this straightened out some. Roll the loop some so it's in the middle more. And then we will, still needs rolled just a touch more. There we go. And then we will again measure, make sure it's the same. 3 1/4 here, 3 1/4 here. So let's get this straightened up some if we can. And then the next step would be to wrap the loops that the wire is going to be on, that you're going to hang we're going to hang our pieces with. So we'll just turn some loops here on either side. And then we'll do the same with the larger one. Now that we've got those on, what we need to do is get these bars pretty even to each other. So what I need to do is do a slight bend in both of them, like so. We want this up a little higher here so that it's more even with the other side. I think we got it there. Then we'll take this one, because it's going to be above it, and that might be just fine just like that. But like so. Now we need to get some of our 24 gauge wire, and then we're going to put these little guys onto here, like so. Okay, so we're going to get the 24 gauge wire out, get a strand of it. This should be plenty. And then we are going to wrap it right here about 3 or 4 times. Then we'll bring this piece up here, and we're going to go through the loop that's right here on the, come on, you just slide down on there. Now when you do this, I advise leaving a tail here so that you can hold on to it as you loop these around. Otherwise it is going to do its darndest to twist around on you. So we want to go through this loop at least 3 times. So two, and there's 3. Now if you want to do a 4th one and you think you need it, by all means do so. Then the next step is to wrap around the base bar. Okay. 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you can cut the excess wire off. Then we will push this where you want it. And then you're going to wrap this around this side of the base bar. Again, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and so we're leaving a end there, 4 with this one. Now we'll bring this up, slide you up a bit. We're going to go through that loop on this side 3 times. So through we go. Pull her up tight. 1, 2, and 3. Now if you're not sure how many loops you've made, you can just go and you can count them easily enough. They're right there. Okay, and then once we've got that 3rd one in place, we'll then again do 4 around the base bar. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you can situate it where you want it, which looks pretty good as it is right there. And then we cut off the extras. And you take your pliers and you tighten stuff up and push on your wire so it stays in place. So just a little bit there and there. And there we go. There is our first piece done. Now we need to put together the second one. But before we put together the second, we want to take our nylon jaw pliers and squish this down tightly into place. So there is this one. So we'll get another piece of wire about the same length for the other side. And again, we'll start with our 4 wraps. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is going to be this one because I don't want to have this one too short, because when you start putting things together, it bites into you if it's really short. So let's just, to do this first loop, let's just drop this down here, and then we're gonna pull this tight. And I think I got a bend in it, so it's not gonna want to pull tight right away. There we go. So hold that in place. Then we're gonna bring her around through the hole. This is number 2. Pull it tight. Go with number 3, pull it through, and don't slide up that far. Now see how it's sliding around? That's fine until we get it set. So that's 3 in the loop. Now we want our 4 around the base bar. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that we've got the 4 there, I'm going to tighten these up because they went sideways some. So now we're going to slide this down because it's way up here too high. And we're going to go right there. Now we're going to cut this little piece off. And then we'll use it to put our 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tighten that up, and then we will bring this back up here, go through the loop once, twice, 3 times. Now that one's overlapping, so try and make sure you don't do that. Bring it over like so, and then we go. There we go. No more overlap. Nope. So now we need our 4 on the base bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, and up. So now we're in place here. So we'll cut off our extra. Now, if you don't get these tucked real tight, unlike a piece of jewelry, it doesn't really matter that much. I mean, you'll want it relatively tight, but against the bar, but the little 26 gauge, or 24 gauge, I should say, it's not as crucial. You don't want it to look tacky, but it's not as crucial because it's not going to bite anyone, because it's not a piece of jewelry that anybody's going to wear. So there we go. Now our second one needs to be squooshed with our nylon jaw pliers. And both of our bars are now done. So now this will jump ring onto here, and then we'll have the hanger here, and we'll have the 4 strands of shell, and with the starfish, or I guess they're sand dollars, down here, with our one with our crystal here in the middle. That'll be better. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do our bead strings, and we're also going to hook these together with a jump ring, and then we will put this one this one's going to go right down the middle. And consequently, maybe we do want them a little closer, because this one is going to be further away from the other one. So let's see if we can get these to round out some. Just like so. It's a little too much, I think, that direction. Let's see. That's better. That might be good. So now what we want to do is we need to decide on our, either put these together right now, or decide on our bead strands. This is I'm going to put a little bead strand with, I think, where are you, big guy? This one up here, and then we'll have a hook at the top. So we'll put this one aside until we decide to do that particular strand. So what we need to do is we need to get some crimp tubes out, because we want to put our sand dollars on the bottom of all 4 of these strands that we decide to be, and we have to decide on their length. I'm thinking I want these ones shorter, longer, longer. So I'm just going to cut a length of wire out here, and I'm going to try and decide how big I want these to be. And we could hook these together right now, or we can make our bead strands and hook them together as we make our, this one I think is going to go with the big crystal. As we make our bead strands, we can hook them on, and then we can hook up all together. So let's get started with that. Now we'll trim off the excess wire. And there is our first strand done. Now we can do this one of 2 ways. We can now do our second strand so that we can measure it up to this, or we can put it right on the bar right away. Since I've chosen not to put it on the bar right away, I'm going to, as I say, do one piece, and then we will put them both on their bar. So we've cut another piece of wire. I'll measure this for you so you can see how long I'm making these. Now I've got, come on, you've got your ruler upside down is what you've got. 9 inches. I don't need 9 inches. As you can see, this only is, if you take away the sand dollar, it's only about 4, maybe 4 1/4. But I always make cut extra wire, because inevitably, oh, I forgot to put my, well, I guess we're cutting this one loose because I forgot to put my crystal on. So anyway, we'll put the sand dollar on. and crimp this baby up. And then we'll start stringing it. Like I say, I am going to cut this loose. I forgot to put my crystal on, and so we might even make it a little longer when I do that, but we'll see. Let's see, what bead do I want to put on the bottom? I don't want to put the exact same bead on the bottom, so we'll just grab one. Here's a nice pretty teal one. And I'm not going to make them exactly the same. We're just going to make them however we feel like it. So now I'm going to start putting on some of the shell beads. Now we'll put on our Egyptian crystal. We'll remember it in this one. Now this one, I'm going to make it a little longer because I want to make it, would have made it the same length, but we forgot our crystal, so we're going to put in a few more beads here. The first thing we're going to put in, I think, is going to be the starfish here, and he'll have a ball spacer here because otherwise he'll fall apart. I mean, he won't be as good. So we're gonna, now we need just, I think, just one more bead. I think this big green one should do it. Now, no, because I want this to be the same length once I get this Egyptian crystal in, and we're not quite there. We're at the same length right now, but we weren't if we put the Egyptian crystal on the other side. So one more small bead, maybe this round cobalt. Now, are we long enough? I think we're about perfect. So now we'll hook this one up, be done with it, and I think we'll redo this. We'll pull this one apart and redo it. Then we'll hang them on the hanger, and we will start on the middle ones. So we'll get a crimp tube. And oops, I forgot, we need a spacer at the top of these because the crimp tube wants to eat these. Or the India glass wants to eat our crimp tubes, so we don't want that. So we'll go to here. Come on, you. Okay. Ooh, that wasn't good. Well, nothing looks to have broken. That's good. I was going to hold this with the pliers because this wants to keep turning so that I can't get the crimp in. But maybe I got it now. Nope, it just turned again. See, we need to crimp this 3 or 4 times till it makes a little ball, but if it doesn't want to cooperate, and give me space, it doesn't make a little ball, it makes a little mess, which is what it's doing right now. I'm going to cut the excess wire off because it's pretty tight now already and I want to have the room. So there we go. Okay, there's the first. This is now the first one since I messed up the first one. So let's get this one cut apart. We'll get some more wire, and we're going to use these same beads. We're just simply going to break them and put in the crystal in the middle here. So we will just cut this off. I always say that's what flush cutters are for. If you make a mistake, flush cutters are for fixing. So now we need another piece of wire. Get our sand dollar on the bottom. Now when you hook these onto your bases, remember these sand dollars are actually only one-sided, so you're going to have to make sure that you that your sand dollars are facing the same direction when you hook them up onto your bar. Okay, now we're just going to string these up exactly the same, except for when we get to here, we're going to put our crystal in. Add a piece of the beading wire inside that bead. Okay, now let's measure them together. Oh, this one still looks to be a teeny bit shorter. And I don't have any really tiny beads, so what I think we'll do is we'll take it back off to here, and we'll put one more shell bead in. So now hopefully we are about the same length, and we will close this one up if we are. So, yep, I think we're good. So we will get another crimp tube, and we will go through. Bring her down. Now we'll crimp this baby. Okay, now we're going to cut the extra wire off. Now we can hook these two to our big bar, and all we have to do that is take our pliers, oh there they are, open our ring up here just like you would a jump ring, and feed one of our loops onto that and close it back up. Slide back down in there where you belong. Now this is where you gotta watch. Yes, I have it on the right way. You've got your front here, so you want to make sure that you're going to the front when you put these on. So open this up. I think this one may be backwards. Okay, so then we'll shut our bar back up. And there's our first bunch hanging down from our piece. So we're going to put that slightly to the side so we can start working on our second one. Now these second one will probably be about the same length as these, but because they're on a lower bar, they're going to hang down further. So we will keep those sort of to the side, so when we do hook them all up, we make sure we have the same length. And I may end up having to get some more of my India glass out, since we don't have a lot of huge pieces left. And I do have more India glass, I just have to get it out. Oop. I might put that one at the middle. And of course, if I need more length, I can always use more shells. I don't have to use just 3 or 4. We could use any length we wanted. And we do have quite a few shells. So we'll get these sort of divided up and remember these too. And so we can see if we got plenty. If we don't, like I say, we can always improvise with something else. So let's get some string out and we'll start our next one. And like I say, they actually are going to end up being about the same length as the ones we already did. It's just that they're going to be hanging on a lower bar, so they'll be hanging lower. So let's get our starfish on each of these. It looks like I'll probably have to get some more spacers out, but hey, that's not a big deal. Actually, I think I'll just put both my... No, I'll just do one at a time. Come on, you'll go on in there. So we'll just start stringing some beads on here. That's fine. When we put these on, I'm going to try and remember to put the turtle and this starfish on opposite sides of our bar than we're on the other one. Just a teeny touch more down. There we go. And crimp this baby up. Cut the extra wire off. And now we need to make the other one, the opposite one. So we will get some more wire out and do the fourth one. So we need another crimp tube. We need our sand dollar. Come on, crimp tube, go on there. There we go. Oh, I'm pulling it up accidentally. Come on, down there. Now we will crimp this guy. My crimp slid a little bit, so he's a little higher up than I would have liked him to be, but he's all right still. Okay, which one do we want to start with? I think this blue tube. Then the teal. And that may be all I need. Let's measure it to our friend over here. Yep, that's it. We're done. So now we need to... Wow, I cut a lot more wire than I needed that time. I even have enough for the other side, for the last piece. Go in there. Okay. Okay, we'll cut the extra wire off. And now we can hook these onto the other bar. But like I say, when we put them on, we want to make sure that we are not that we have our turtle and our starfish on opposite sides, because we don't want them to be in the way. So let's put all our bits and pieces for our last strand up here. We've got more than we're going to need, and that's good. Okay, here's our original set. So we want them to go like this when they hook up. So here's our bar. This is the front. I'm going to open this one up. And we want to put this one on. Yeah, we're hanging the right way. Okay, close this up. Then we'll open the other side and put it on. Come on, baby, hook up on there. Okay. Now we'll close this guy back up. Now, we can do one of two things. We can hook it together, like here, right now, or we can get our last strand done before we bother to hook it together, which is our crystal strand. So put these two aside, and we'll work on our crystal strand. So just like all the other strands, we want to pull out some wire. And we're going to put our crystal onto this like so. Just like we did the others, it's just that it's a crystal now instead of a charm. We don't want that to go down all the way because we don't want to put stress on our connection here. And besides, it'll be fun to have it move around some. Okay, now we got to decide what we're going to put on first, and just put on just like we did the others. Choose a piece and go for it. I think we'll go for this really funky, really cool one here. I'm going to check the length compared to the others. This is going to be about the same because of the where it's hanging. It gets to be longer. I want it to be about this much longer. So, ooh, we got quite a few beads we can put in here. So I may have to find some others because I do want some variant of color when we do these. And these are all more or less the same color right now. So let's, where'd I put them? There they are. This is all the same. These are all blues. I don't want those. I have some little greens in this one. I think we'll add some greens. There's this guy in here. I think he'll be fun. And you know, I think I'm going to pull these off and I'm going to put 2 more of the shell beads in here to add a little length. See how that'll do. Hopefully it'll be fine because we're running out of thread. Yeah, beading wire. So it'll go. Now this one will have to either be jump ringed on or we'll have to hook it right onto the ring. I think I'm going to just jump ring it though, which will in turn give us a little bit more length. I'm thinking 1 more small bead maybe. And this baby came out. I saw it. Get back in there. Okay, so I think we'll put this little green in here. And then I'm going to put this over here with the hanger one. And the rest of these get to go back in the clamshell so that we don't lose them. But there we go. I'll close that up. And we got this last little bead to put on here. And then our crimp. So now we're just going to crimp this baby up, and then we'll get a jump ring out to hook it to our piece, and we'll hook everything all together. So I'll just crimp this right now. And okie dokie, now that we've got this crimped, we can cut the extra wire. And now it's time to put everything together. So this stuff is all extra. Well, nope, not quite. I'm going to need a couple of these for up here. But these are extra. So we'll get these put away. The shells are extra also. We'll need to find a little baggie to put those in. Yeah, I got one right here. Well, we'll do it later. They can go up here. They don't need to be in our way. This is all for the hook part up at the top. But we're now going to start putting things together. So this baby, what did I do with my other pliers? There they are. We'll open up here and go through this hook and on to our loop right here. Oop, come here, where are you at? There we go. Looks like they're a little overlappy, so we need to squish down right here. There we go. So there's the first three together. Now we need to get another jump ring. There's one right here and it's already open, so I will just nab it. Bing. And it will go through our loop right here. And then our top piece, making sure that you've got your two pieces so that they're facing the same direction. So now we'll close this up. Oh, come on, baby, close. There we go. And make sure those are good and together, which they are not. Okay, and then I actually may get a second jump ring to hold that so that there's two there instead of just one, because this is a heavy piece. So the second one will keep it from hopefully pulling open with this one. So we'll get a second one and put a second one on here. So here's our second one. We'll get this open. Actually, I have another opened one over here, so we'll just use it. So again, through both, just like you would if you were just doing just one. The second one is just insurance, more or less. So we'll close this baby up. There we go. So there are those pieces now all put together. And we'll have to do our top hook now. Now we have a choice. We can, to put the top piece on, we can use some more soft flex and make a regular one, just hook it right on here. Or we can use some wire, and like we would an earring, to put it on there. I am leaning towards if I use this soft flex, I'm probably going to want to double it up because this is very, very heavy. Very, very pretty, but very, very heavy. And so these beads are big enough to do a double layer of the soft flex, so I think I may just do that. So what I'm thinking I'll do, what did I do with that piece of wire that fell? I don't see it. But I'm thinking what I'll do is get a piece of soft flex out, about yay long. Cut that. And what I'm going to do is double this up like so. And I am going to, first we got to see if we can get 4 of these through. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But what I'm going to do is I am going to do this a little different than I had originally thought I would. I'm going to take the doubled up portion and we're going to just simply lark's head it here. Though instead of not crimping it, we're just going to take our crimp down here, and we're going to go all the way down. Come on, you, get up there where you belong. Now we're going to bring it down like we would normally. Come on. And then we're going to crimp it right here. Now we're going to take and put our big bead on. Oop, don't bang it. Now, there we go. I am going to crimp this now right here. Oh, would you stop rolling? Then what I'm going to do is we need to cut one of these wires off because the crimps are not taking 4, they'll only take 3. So what I'm going to do is get another crimp, and then I'm going to roll it back down here, and so that we can just do one crimp here. But before I do that, what I'm going to do is we're going to do what I call a double crimp. And, well, actually, we're going to end up with a triple because there's one at the bottom already. But what I want to do is I'm going to, actually, I only need one of these. I'm going to get another little bead. I think we'll go for one of these little green ones again. And we're going to put him right there. Then we'll get the other crimp out. And we're going to take one of these and put it back through. Come on, you, where are you coming from? There you are. And we'll pull her up. Now we're going to crimp it. And we'll cut both of these extra threads off. Figures this one went behind the other one, which makes it hard to cut it. I'll just see if I can't get it hold of it with my pliers and pull it through to this side. No, I don't want both. I just want this guy. There we go. So we want to cut it really close to the crimp, and I don't want to have it sticking up too much. There we go. So it's now I just need to put a hook on it and it'll be done. So I've got this extra little tiny piece of 16 gauge wire, and I think I can do what I want with it to make me a hook. So we'll just do a little simple loop on this side, which is where it's going to hook onto our wire. And then we are going to take and make a large hook size right here, like so. And there we go. There's our hook all made. Though I do notice it has a little bit of a sharp side here, so I'm going to cut it off. And then we just have to open our hook up here at the bottom, and we can hook it onto our soft flex here at the top. Now I would have liked to have had a double loop, but I didn't think I could manage to get the soft flex through the wire twice. So there we go. Let's see if I can't get it out well enough so you can see it all the way, because it's pretty good sized. But let's see if we can get it bigger so that you can see more of it. There it is. So, and I gotta get rid of all these shells underneath it. But it is finished. Okie dokie, here we go. See why I called it a Suncatcher mobile? Because it can swing around if it wants to. Got the crystal at the bottom and inside to make some rainbows. I think it turned out really, really pretty. I like it. I like it a lot. So there we go. There is our Suncatcher mobile made with our India glass and the little sand dollars and the turtles and starfish from our Thunder Horse Descendant Inspiration Bundle. Bubble netting. Let's see, spiral bubble netting. Right here is our card. And then, of course, all of the little white shells came out of my FOC project. So isn't that cool? Isn't that fun? Don't you like that? I thought it was a blast. And I know this was a long video, but I hope you enjoyed making this with me. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.